Hi everybody, Jill here. Welcome. Thank you so much for clicking on that thumbnail and joining me for a little bit today. So I'm doing my weekly check-in. We're going to see how the scale looks, both with my weight, and I did want to touch base with you on two numbers on my smart scale that I really want to focus on more than anything. So we are going to look back to December 30th and now, and that way I can really focus on sort of that total picture. And I'm also going to be giving you a little bit of insight as to a couple things that I have learned in trying to keep up with this whole GLP-1 debacle now that it's come off of the shortage list. However, what I ended up sort of discovering is something that's completely non-related to that, but it's very concerning to me. I am really upset about it, and it has to do with Mochi health. So I am going to be giving you an update on that whole thing as well. I hope you'll stick with me. Well, first of all, let's go ahead and talk about how my last week went. So if you recall from my update that I did last week, I went ahead and gave myself my very first 7.5 milligram injection. I had held off 2 times before. I just stuck with that 5 milligram for 2 weeks. So technically this is supposed to be the beginning of my 4th week on the 7.5, but I actually just did the one, which was last week. Well, do you remember when I touched base with you when I went from 2.5 to 5 and the appetite just dropped out, like no appetite? I think I lost 4 pounds that week because I had to force feed myself. It was just really, woo. Well, that's exactly what happened this time, except for I went from 5 to 7.5, which doesn't seem, like a big, huge climb, not like doubling it from 2.5 to 5, but wow. It just happened within hours, I swear, of having that injection, and it hasn't declined all week. I have had a really hard time trying to, keep the nutrition coming. And I ended up losing not 4 pounds. I did not lose 4 pounds, but let me go ahead at this point then and give you some of my stats. I apologize for the glare you're going to see now right on my glasses. All right. Well, I am down 3.5 pounds. So not good. I mean, you're probably thinking, why would you not think that's good? Well, I'm trying to keep my weight loss around 2 pounds tops, 1.5 to 2 pounds a week. So, but this has to do with the fact that this was that initial week after increasing that injection milligram. And so at the beginning of this week, I started at 160.2. So I'm currently at 156.7, which is lovely, but zero appetite. Here it is actually 2:42, and I have yet to eat something. Isn't good. That isn't good. All right, so today is Sunday, which is the day I give myself my weekly injections. It's also the very start of that new week, and I decided to give myself a 6.6 milligram injection, and I'll explain to you why I chose that number here in a bit. So that's what I just gave myself maybe a couple hours ago. I am total, because I started this December 30th is when I took my very first TIRZEPATIDE injection. So I have total weight loss now of 26.3 pounds. I'm inching and getting a little closer to that 30-pound mark. My old BMI was 33.2. My current is 28.7. I have lost 14% of my starting weight, which is great, and I am 40% to my goal weight, which is 118. And I always like to remind you that I really don't know what my goal weight is going to be. I just had to plug in something because I have 2 different apps I'm using, and they need a number, but I just really don't know what that is going to be. I know I want it at least somewhere in the 120s. I'm only 5'2". Hold on here. I'm only 5'2", so I feel like I could carry that just fine. I need to focus on not losing muscle, and to start really gaining muscle would be fantastic, because I want to look okay as well as feel great at whatever that goal weight is. So my average loss, throwing out the high and low, is about 2.3 pounds a week. And I am 38.7 pounds to my goal of 118. So I need to lose, if I want to get down to that, that's how much weight I need to lose. Okay, I had my, let me see, is there anything else? Okay, so those are my current stats. So I had my first meeting with the provider that I was given on Mochi Health. So yes, I decided to go forward with signing the contract. I'm very transparent with you guys, to, promote Mochi Health. So I had my very first provider visit and I loved her. They spend an entire 30 minutes with you, which this is my third platform. Now I have used 2 others, right? And the bar's pretty high because I haven't had a terrible experience with either of those. I've had a decent experience with the first, a really good experience with the second. So that bar is up there. But I have to say that no doctor that I have had has spent that much time with me. She's a nurse practitioner. And I just really like her. So what I have to talk to you about later on is really a shame, but we'll get there, and I'll let you know what's been kind of going on. But as for the provider, loved her. Now, I told her I had a SMART scale, and she loved that. She said, really, the number that means the most is the lean body mass, because that is your total weight of everything in your body except fat. So we're talking bone mass, muscle mass. Those things are super important to really zone in on when you're on any kind of weight loss journey, but especially GLP-1s, because it is so easy to lose your appetite and realize that you're just not eating enough and you're losing weight way too fast, because then you're losing things that you don't want to lose. Your bone mass and the muscle mass are both really important to keep an eye on. And so that's really what she wanted to, really press on this whole thing. So I am going to really start zoning in on those 2 numbers. So I looked back and I went back to December 30th because I do have a SMART scale that I can, I have an app on my phone that shows me all those numbers. I went back to December 30th. I've weighed more, but that's where I started my TIRZEPATIDE shots. But December 30th, my lean body mass was 98.7 pounds. Again, everything except fat. And my bone mass was 5.7 pounds. Currently, going back from December all the way to today, my lean body mass is actually 90.6 pounds and my bone mass is 5.2 pounds. So while I'm losing numbers on the scale, and clearly, a lot of that is fat, because I also have those markers that tell me, body fat mass, body fat like percentage, and as well as visceral fat. All those numbers are coming down, which is great, but we cannot not see the rest of that picture. That's really important. Yeah, I went from 98.7 pounds down to 90.6 pounds. My bone mass hasn't dropped an awful lot, but it has dropped like 0.5 tenths, of a pound. So, I don't want that to happen anymore. Or come on, let's slow down and then start gaining. And now I realize that lean body mass number is not just bone mass and muscle mass, but it is everything except your fat. So we don't want to see any of that technically decrease. So the fact that I went from 98.7 to currently, which is, where did I write that? 90.6. I'm going to have to start seeing that number stop and start rising. So my doctor, my provider, the nurse practitioner that I talked with through Mochi Health, suggested definitely, and we all know this, and I have talked about this and even got, what I need to do at home, got to start doing some weight training and incorporating the weights to my routine. I need to get going on that. So while it's wonderful to say that I have lost the 26.3 pounds, and I am very happy about that, clearly though, I need to help my body through this even more. So those are the numbers that I wanted to share with you. And I love the fact that I have really no appetite. I don't think about food, zero at all. But I also don't like that I can go hours and hours and realize, oh my gosh, I need to eat. I don't do that on purpose. It's just, which is great. The food noise is gone. I really love that, but I would like to have a little bit of an appetite just to get the nutrients that I need. So maybe going down to 6.6 will be helping that. That's what I'm hoping. So why did I choose that? Well, my provider through Mochi Health said that what they've done to sort of comply with the rules and regulations is, of compounding still is, and we talked about this also in a couple weeks back vlog, they are tweaking the doses because they can't be the doses that the name brand uses. So she would and has prescribed me 6.6. She said we could do that or even go up to 8 point, whatever that next one is. And then I was telling her, no. She goes, oh, no, we don't want to go up. So the 6.6 is what I will be doing, through them. So that's why today I gave myself a 6.6. I love the fact that they can tweak like that, just because there are instances like I have had where somewhere between the 5 and the 7.5 right now would be ideal, I think. So next week I'll report to you as to if there were any changes that now that I didn't do the whole 7.5. Okay, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Again, had a lovely chat with my provider. It was really the best that I have had. And the other cool thing is that, and I asked, will I have you through this whole process? And she said yes. And you also get assigned a dietitian. And if you like them, you will have them as your team through the entire experience, including into maintenance. This is the first platform that has ever done that. In the past, I get bounced around from provider to provider, and there is no cohesion there. So I love that. I really do. And so, yeah. All right, I'm going to get you caught up here. I did see briefly regarding an update on just the GLP-1 arena in general that Eli Lilly is going to be coming out with a pill form, and it's clearing nicely. It's going through all the processes that needs to happen in the trials and whatnot, and they foresee that possibly entering the market in 2026. And it's a pill, so there are a lot of great things that come from that. One is it's much easier for most people to take, right? And they've also found through the trials there's much less side effects for those that experience them. I haven't experienced any side effects other than it works on the injections, but a lot of people do. So that's great. But I think the most important thing, two things, is one, the weight loss is really rivals like the Wegovy weight loss percentage that they see, and even better than that. So that's great. I would have to do a little bit more research to see if those numbers are going to rival the injection tirzepatide or Zepbound, Mounjaro. I can't really say for sure because I don't think I've read anything like that up to now at this point, but I'll keep you posted on that as it gets closer to when it's going to be released. They're still going through that process, but I guess it's rapidly going. It's really doing great when it comes to that. But the other thing is because it's a pill, it's going to be way more affordable to produce and way more affordable, therefore, for the person such as myself that may be interested in getting it. And also because it's a pill form, apparently there are higher hopes as to the insurance debacle, and that more insurance companies may feel they are more comfortable with covering it for weight loss. So we'll see about that. But for now, even if it's an out-of-pocket thing, it's very promising because it's going to be more affordable. So that's the only update that I have regarding that. But now I want to tell you, because I am very honest, and it's important to me that I am honest and very transparent with you about everything. And the community that we've built together on this channel is important to me. And I want you to know that no matter what you watch, that if I'm talking about something or showing you or say, oh my gosh, I really love this, I truly do. And I don't want to promote or get behind anything if I don't truly feel that way. I am not sure really how this is all going to play out at this time, but I want to let you know what has been going on if you're not privy. A lot has been going on in this weekend regarding Mochi Health. Now, they use a pharmacy named Akita or Aquita. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. And it's right here in Washington State, which is great for me because I would get my medication possibly in just one day, 2 days probably tops, which is fantastic. However, sorry, you're hearing Loki. If I'm sure you can hear him bark. The Washington State Department of Health has posted this on their website, so you can read this yourself as well. The Pharmacy Quality Assurance Commission issues limited stop service on license of pharmacy, which is the pharmacy that Mochi Health uses. So I'm going to read this to you because this came out on March 13th. Today is currently the 16th. The media contact is through DOH Communications. So Olympia, the Pharmacy Quality Assurance Commission has issued a limited stop service to Akita Pharmacy LLC or Akita, pending further legal action. The pharmacy is located it's actually in Kirkland, Washington. The notice of immediate limited stop. So this is immediate. This isn't pending anything. They have had to stop compounding, period. So as of, when they issued this, the notice of immediate limited stop alleges, this is still alleged, so we need to keep this in mind, that Akita, which compounds glucagon-like peptide 1s, GLP-1s, such as semaglutide and tirzepatide, failed to develop and implement a commission-approved plan of correction to correct deficient practices or conditions. The deficient practices including allowing untrained, unqualified staff to perform sterile compounding, not properly supervising staff, and not adhering to sterile compounding procedures designed to ensure product integrity and patient safety. Okay, that's concerning. It's alleged, yes, but come on, So, Akita cannot compound and cannot dispense, deliver, or distribute compounded products in Washington State until the limited stop service is resolved. They have 28 days to respond to the limited stop service by requesting a hearing. The commission must conduct a follow-up inspection within 5 business days unless Akita requests additional time. Legal documents are available by clicking a link, which they give, on the agency's homepage, or by calling, and they give you this number. Anyone who believes healthcare facility or healthcare provider has violated licensing laws is encouraged to call. They give a number to complain. Complaints can also be submitted via email, and they give that information. So this is alarming. It's concerning. And so I did reach out to the rep that I do love her. I have had such a lovely experience, but I cannot deny the fact that, this is going on, allegedly, that these things are going on in the pharmacy that they utilize. So I did reach out to let her know, my rep, that I just don't think I feel confident and or that I can back a company, that all of this is going on. And the CEO of Mochi Health, she of course is a doctor, but also I found out through watching the channel Downsize as they gave sort of their update on all of this. He did some digging and found, because somebody posted on Reddit that the CEO, founder of Mochi Health, is also the president of Akita Pharmacy. So he really didn't take that, as face value. So he did his own research and found that, yes, actually, she is the president of the pharmacy, Akita Pharmacy, LLC. So this is going on right under her nose, and I find that alarming. They mentioned on Downsize that through their portal, there was a general announcement that talked about this and just basically said that they're aware of this and that they have this under control. Basically, they're going to distribute through other pharmacies. Great, fine, but I don't find that comforting. I don't, and I have not tried I haven't injected any medication from Akita Pharmacy because I haven't received it yet, and I don't plan on it. I should have taken my glasses off a long time ago. I'm sorry. So I did send a letter over to my rep and voiced my concern, and basically that I just really don't feel comfortable recommending Mochi Health at this time to any of my viewers. So she'll get back to me. I did sign the contract, and I've never signed a contract before other than Wigs by Patty's Pearls. So it's really sad, and it's such a shame that the one time I get my gumption up to feel good about doing this ends up kind of like coming back and hitting me in the face. It's like, God dang it. We really don't know everything, and I certainly do not. So I'm just going to put that out there. But the fact that there's this obvious, controversy now that's behind the whole Mochi Health is concerning to me. As someone who, his job, since I signed this contract, technically is to share my experience with Mochi Health and recommend it to you. That's what they've hired me to do. And I am happy to do that, absolutely happy to do that, if I truly don't have any issues with that product or whatever it is that I am recommending. And right now, the ground is shaking. It's real shaky. So I don't feel great about it. Oh, I did want to say that I'm still taking AgeMate. By the way, there's an update for you. I talked about AgeMate last week and how it was definitely affecting my gastrointestinal tract. I have been cutting it down to a half. However, I'm not seeing a big change. I guess I'm assuming that it's AgeMate. I'm pretty sure it is because it all started when I started taking that. So I continue to take it. It's not real bad because if it was, I would stop it, but it is a little annoying. So also to help supplement my experience here with the GLP-1, because I want to make sure my body is getting the nutrients that it needs. Ideally, that needs to come from your food. But when you have a week like I did, and it's not uncommon, I wanted to help it even more, even though I am taking like vitamin D and all of the things that I've talked about in the past. I added the Groons gummies, which I looked into the Groons gummies, which aren't full of sugar and all of that. But I liked the fact that they had a lot of different nutrients packed in those little dudes. So I started taking those as well. I've only been on day 4 or something on them. So yeah, what would it hurt? As long as I'm not doubling up on, vitamins that it's not good to have too much of, like vitamin A and all of that. So I looked all that over, and nothing is crossing over when it comes to the Age Mate. The only thing I did stop since I started taking Age Mate is separate magnesium, because I don't need to take more magnesium. So I stopped taking that. And so everything else is good to go. But that's something I would recommend, is if you start adding supplements or an all-in-one supplement, and then you're taking this separate and all of that to cover the nutrient loss that we want to avoid, make sure you're not getting too much of one specific thing, because you're taking all of these different things. That would be really easy to do. All right, I am going to sign off for this week's check-in. I will see you next Monday for next week. I'll let you know if there's anything new regarding the GLP-1 arena. I will keep you up to date regarding the whole Mochi Health debacle. So many debacles. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.